Yo, 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 yo. What is good, everybody? What is good? What is good, everybody? Good to see y'all today. Always good to see y'all, man. Always good to come on here and, have a good time with y'all, man. Always a good time. What's good? What is good? I am Craftsman. What is good? Ryan Glenn, Walter Grimes, Kent Logan, Parker Jones. What? Wikwaba? DeVito, Kent Logan, what's up? What's good, everybody that is on here? What is good? Glad to see y'all on here, man. Glad to see y'all on here. Midday vibes. Gonna have a good time, man. Good midday vibes. And we're just trying to have a good time on here today. And yeah. Are y'all ready? We're going to have a nice little discussion today. It's not going to be too long, hopefully, but we might have a nice little discussion today about this whole analog thing, because a lot of y'all were asking me questions. Well, not too many people, but a lot of y'all were, asking questions about, are they ready for analog production? And, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a few things that may help you in your decision, or they may hinder you in your decision. You know what I'm saying? It might help you or it might hinder you. Let me turn this off real quick. I'm going to put that on a little later on. But yeah, it might help you or it may hinder you. So let's go ahead and run that title. Well, let's run the intro and stuff real quick. Bolo! All right, it's your boy Bolo back at it again. And before we get started with this, whole live thing going on right now, we got to give a shout out to all of the affiliates. And that is, of course, my people over at Zounds.com. If you guys need to get some equipment today, if you guys want to get some equipment and your money's a little funny, you can go ahead and go to Zounds.com. They have a whole bunch of stuff that requires no credit or background check, meaning you can go ahead and order the stuff, they'll ship it to you, and you can just pay it off over time using a credit or debit card. It is that easy to go ahead and go to Zounds, but you have to click my link in the description, in the video description down here, to go ahead and do that. So if you need some stuff, go ahead and holler at my people over at Zounds.com, okay? But click my link in the description. It helps the channel out, and you guys can get stuff with no credit or background check. It's not everything, but it's a lot of stuff on the site that you can get with no credit or background check. And also, once you guys go ahead and go to Zounds and buy something, go ahead and get you a protective case from Analog Cases. They have cases that can protect just about every single thing. So if you got some equipment and you need to keep it protected, like even for storage or for travel or for whatever, Analog Cases is the best place where you can go to keep your equipment protected. All right. You got to keep your equipment protected. I was a little skeptical of them at first, but then once I started using the cases, I was like, these are some really good people, really good guys over there. They'll take care of you and they'll make sure your equipment is protected without you having to go out and like make you a case or like wrap it up in some sheets or something like that. And then plus it looks a lot more professional when you go certain places and you have that case, and it just looks really good and your equipment stays protected. So make sure you guys go ahead and click that link in the description. You can save 10% at Analog Cases. All right. So who else is on here right now? Cuzzo, what's good? Jamal Jarrett, what's good? Paul Smith, brother Paul, thank you so much for your donation. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, Paul. Thank you so much. The Mix Club. Yes, the Mix Club got on the Rockets hat. When I was down in Houston, I had to go and get the hat. I was trying to get an old Houston Astros hat, but the store didn't have it. And I got a bone to pick with y'all over there at Houston. I got a bone to pick with y'all. I've been there twice. And usually when I go to certain places, I try to go to if I'm in an NFL city, I like to go up to the stadiums and take pictures at the stadium and, hit the little, fan club little thing where you can buy hats and shirts and stuff like that. But y'all are tripping over there in Houston. I mean, tripping. You can't even go close to the stadium. You can't go inside the stadium. They don't have any place where you can buy any gear. None of that stuff. Now in LA, I almost could have just went into the stadium because they had a soccer thing going on, and it was on like $12. I could have went into the whole stadium for like $12. But they at least had like shirts and stuff where you can go to the little fan store and everything. In Tennessee, I did the same thing. Of course, in my hometown, I could do the same thing. I could just walk up to the stadium. But in Houston, man, y'all tripping. So I had to go to the outlet mall. I went to the outlet mall that was like further north of Houston. And thanks be to God, because I went there and they had a huge sale going on, and I ended up getting this hat. I ended up getting like 5 pair of shoes for like less than, and I'm talking about good shoes. I got me like 5 pair, my girl got like 4 pair, and we got like 7 pair of shoes, like Nikes, really good Nikes and everything, for less than $300 total. And then she got a pair of shoes that's right now listed like $190 on the Nike site. We got them for $35 there. They have the deals down there in Texas. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, but they really have the deals there. So I end up getting this hat. For like $20. I'm finna go back to Houston. I like the Houston vibe. I'm finna go back there and just kind of like chill out and just eat and check out some late night spots. If you guys are in Houston and y'all know like some of the 30 and up type clubs, something like that, y'all let me know, because me and my girl like to travel and we try to see different things. You know what I'm saying? Have I went to the Magic Stadium? The one in Orlando? The one in Orlando? Yeah, I'm from Florida, so I've been to that stadium. I've been to that one. Yeah. But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about should you go Dawless when it comes to production. And I really want to say this to you guys before, I get on my little rant, because, sometimes I kind of get off and I get into my little rant. I've been doing Dawless stuff for the longest. So I kind of know a little bit. I don't know everything, but I kind of know a little bit. All right? You know what I'm saying? I kind of know a little bit, but not everything, but I do know enough. I've been using Dawless devices since 2002. Okay, so I've been doing my thing. Okay, yes, I have been to the arena over there in Orlando. Just to get back to your question real quick, but I went to the old arena, not the new one. I went to the old one where the Magic first played. I went there when Shaq was playing. I was real young, and I got to meet Shaq through the YMCA. But I've been on Church Street. Recently. I'm from Tampa, so I used to go up to Orlando, go to Church Street, and I used, of course, 7th Ave in Tampa is crazy. I know about Orange Blossom. I know about the flea market, the discount mall. I go to the Florida Classic. I'm from there, so I know my thing in Orlando. But getting back to what I'm talking about is should you guys go Dawless, okay? And I'm gonna tell you right now, one of my favorite channels is Ricky Times. I love his channel. I love what he's doing over there. I like how he talks about a lot of Dawless setups and everything. Me, I'm more of an MPC, kind of. Thank you so much, Beat Low Swerve. Thank you. Shout out to Thriller Music, aka Miller. Music can't speak. Music can't speak on Atlanta sound. Analog masters for real. Okay. For real. Thank you so much for that donation, man. And of course, you guys know everybody's a part of the Bolo congregation, man. We are the congregation, and we all do this thing under the House of Music. Y'all all know me as Bishop Bolo when I'm on here. And Bishop Bolo loves when you guys donate to the collection plate, as I call it. And if you guys you can donate to collection plate. You can donate, or donate. Most of the time, people donate during the live beat reviews, which that is cool. Here, I just like to talk. But if you do want to donate, I do have a Cash App. I do have a PayPal. The links are in the description. Or you can donate just hitting that little money sign there. It's all good. But I appreciate that donation. Thank you so much, Beat Low Swerve. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, the Atlanta sound, analog. Yeah, for real. But yeah, getting back to it, I've been doing analog stuff for a long time. Now, let me tell y'all guys something. I started off my first beat. Shout out to my homeboy Ty Cutter. He had a computer in his dorm room. This was a long time ago. This was the year 2000, matter of fact, turn of the century. He had a computer in his dorm room, and he had Cakewalk, and I made my first beat in the spring of 2000, and from that moment, I was completely hooked. Went back home to Florida. My brother had a little computer. I can't remember the computer. It was like I forgot what it was, a compact, I think. And we bought a program on it, and at that time, he had a Roland 303, and he had an 8-track tape deck. And then we went to the store, and they had a music production software that was called, what was it called? Beat Magic or something like that. Magic Beat, whatever. It was only like $30. It had 16 tracks. 16 tracks of audio that you can use in it. And it had some, VSTs that was built into it. And I was trying to figure that thing out because I didn't know how to work MIDI at that time. So I had to teach myself MIDI, and just like a lot of you guys, I thought that MIDI transferred the sound when I first got it. I was completely lost. We bought the chords, we bought everything. And for some reason, I thought MIDI, I thought the sound information went through the MIDI chords. And I was working on it for like the whole 2 months because, we got the beat machine to work because we were sequencing the beat machine, but I was trying to get the computer to tell this beat machine what to do. And we had bought the little MIDI thing to hook up to it, the little MIDI box and all that stuff, the USB box, spent all my little money I had, man, all my little money on all this stuff. And then what happened was, I went back to the music store and I was asking the guy, and he was a rock guy. It was still very much tape analog at that time. He was a rock guy, and he vaguely knew it, but a lot of times those guys in those music stores back in the day, they were little a-holes back in the day. They swore they know everything, and looking back at it now, he really ain't know much. But he basically said, I was like, man, I got this stuff hooked up via MIDI. And I cannot get this thing to work. Yes, Cold Heat. Yes, Magics. Yes. But it was Magics. I had that. It was another one. I can't remember what it was, but you're right, Cold Heat. Cold Heat. Magic Music Maker. Ooh, boy, you know your stuff, man. You know your stuff. Yeah. But was that the one with the 16 tracks on it, or was that the one where you could just record the CD? No, it wasn't Carlton Music. I know what Carlton Music was. Nah, this was something else. But I went to the store and I was like, yo, I can't get this MIDI to work. I can't hear no sound. He was like, sound doesn't come from MIDI. It comes from the output. And I'm like, okay. He's like, MIDI just tells it what to do. That's all it is. It just tells it what to do. And I was like, I said, give me like an example. I'm lost. Now, that's on the SoundForge, Ducky DeVito, and not Acid. I think it was Magic Music Maker. I think so. But it was a while back. But let me get back to my story real quick. We're gonna get to it. But I did use all those. But I was like, give me an example. He gave me the craziest example. He was like, imagine me being the chords. And I told you to scream. And I was like, huh? He was like, I'm just sending you a message and I'm telling you to scream out loud. So I'm like, huh? He was like, I can't talk. I'm just telling you what to do. So imagine me writing on a piece of paper and imagine the chords being the transfer to you, and then I'm telling you to scream. And I'm like, oh, I kind of get it now. He said, you're still going to have to hook up speakers to the actual machine. He said, you need to have output from whatever you're using. And I was like, oh, okay, I got it now. And then I went home, I hooked the thing up to the speakers, forgot I left the speakers turned all the way up because I was using a regular like CD, like a regular like stereo home hi-fi system. I had the shit turned all the way up, and I pressed that one button, and man, I blew the left speaker because I had it turned up, and I had to get that thing replaced because my brother was coming home from work. And at that time, he used to throw shingles on the roof. He used to be tired. And I was at my brother's house for the summertime too. And he used to always be like, hey man, just let me come home in peace. And I remember having to, and he don't even know I had to go up to speaker exchange. And I was like, yo, can you just give me like a replacement speaker to put in here and we can just fix this. And the dude was so cool because I really ain't have no money. I ain't have no money for the tax. And he was like, listen, I got you. I'm going to just give you this speaker. I'm going to give you this because we don't need it. He's like, just give me $5. I gave the guy $5. He replaced the speaker, and I got back home. Everything was cool. It was a really good speaker because it was actually louder than the other speaker because it was a better speaker, but nobody noticed. But from that point, I was kind of hooked on it. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of hooked on just like trying to figure out everything dealing with MIDI, right? Then I go back to school. And our school gives us laptops. We were guinea pigs. And let me tell you how crazy this is. They gave us 2 sets of laptops. We had PCs and we had Macs. We had the first like new generation MacBooks. We were one of the schools that were selected to do that back then. And now looking back on it, we were basic guinea pigs because what would happen is if something happened to the computer or something broke, they would have to send like a log report back to the PC place or back to Apple. And that's how they made their computers more stable and more better than what they were, because those first MacBooks that came out like 2001, those screens would crack just like that. I mean, you press on it hard enough, the screens would crack. Whole bunch of issues with them, but they gave us these computers. But they gave it to us backwards. Like if you was in art and all that stuff, they would give you a PC. If you was in like English or whatever, or history, they would give you a Mac. And just so lo and behold, I was doing like at the time I wanted to be a teacher at the time, and they gave me a Mac, and I ended up getting a PC. I ended up getting a few of them. Can't say how I did it, but I got a few of them. And then what I did was, I found out this terrific website. This website, some of you guys might know it as Napster. And I need some music for this. Hold on, let me turn on some music for this right here. Yeah, let me turn on some music. Yeah, all right, that's cool. So, yeah, I'm old as hell. Beats are good. Yes, I am old. But I went onto this beautiful site called Napster, and they had some nice stuff on there. And then I discovered another site called LimeWire, and they had some really nice stuff on there, man. Some really nice programs, some really good things on there. And I ended up working on this one program, named Reason. And I installed Reason on that laptop. And BearShare. Yes. I remember BearShare too. I installed Reason 1, and I had one of the greatest pieces of software ever made. I had that, and I had some software by the name of Cool Edit Pro. Whew, man, those times were good. Cool Edit Pro. And then I had another software by the name of Cubase at that time. And I had Cakewalk at that time too. Nice programs, and they were free. Don't know how they were free, but they were free. But I worked on Reason first, and I did some stuff on Cool Edit as well. But I was a Reason guy. Like nobody, I'm telling you guys right now, nobody had a Reason set up better than me. If you think you had a Reason set up better than me back then, you didn't. Because if you guys know about Reason back in the day, it just came blank and you had to put in the racks yourself. But one thing about Reason is it taught you how to actually use chords. I actually learned how to plug in stuff by using Reason, using the CVs, using all that stuff by using Reason. Just because when you hit that tab button, it used to take you around the back of that thing, and you can plug in all the stuff. So I learned how to actually use, like machines and stuff like that by using Reason. But those definitely were the days. You know what I'm saying? Those are definitely were the days. But I started off, I was saying all that to say I started off in Reason. So I was during the time where software was on the come up, because I used to make beats on Reason. A lot of people, I used to go to people's studios, they're like, you using Reason? Like, what, you using a laptop? Like, how you gonna make the beat? I'm like, on the laptop. How you gonna make it? I got my little, back then I had a little Casio with the MIDI outs, and I had a little MIDI thing that you can plug into the computer, and I would travel with that. And people were like, you finna make your beat on the laptop? I'm like, yeah. And even though it was quicker, and I used to shock a lot of people when I used to come to the studio, especially like I used to come from Alabama when I was going to school in Alabama to Atlanta. I used to shock people because I used to literally get in the studio, make a whole bunch of beats before the other producers got done setting up and even started routing their beats through. I used to save my beats on the little CDR, the little rewritable CD. I used to save my beats on that, give it to the engineer. They'll load it up on the computer because they did have Pro Tools, and a lot of people were using Logic on the PC back then. A lot of people were using Logic on the PC, and I would load my tracks and everything in there, ought to be split up. I'll be done with all that stuff, and people like, you're done? I'm like, yeah. And a lot of the artists used to like to work with me because I was so much faster than the people that they had. And, it was all good until one day an engineer came to me and said, listen, I like, hold on. Hold on, Beat Load Swerve. What you say? Oh, man, yeah, you would kill me with Thor. Yeah, Thor came out a little bit later. On Reason, when Thor came out on Reason, it was over. When Thor came out on Reason, it was over. Now, I used to use Subtractor to do my basses as well. I did used to use Subtractor to use my basses. But I used to use the NNXT to use my basses to sample in my personal basses in there. And this is back when people weren't using 808s. They were using 808s, but they wasn't using like real bass lines. They were still using basses. But my NNXT basses and my things on that, and on my Subtractor, the bass I made on that was crazy. It was crazy. But what happened was one day I went in there, the guys came back, because at the time they would pay me like $500 a beat. So I was trying to crank out as many beats. I don't know who they were affiliated with inside of Atlanta during that time. There's a lot of very heavyweight people here. But they were paying me $500 a beat. So I was going there and making beats, and they were dropping songs. The songs were hot garbage. I would never play those songs. I actually got the CD still. I would never play those songs ever again. But they were paying me good money, and it was cool. Yeah, Rex 2 was actually very good for samples too, beat process. Yeah. But all right, Ducky. I hear you. But yeah, the engineer one day came to me and said, listen, I know that it's faster to work on this. He said, but the only thing that I noticed about your beats compared to everybody else's beats, you can knock out beats much faster. But he says, I have to do more work on your beats than anybody's beats in here. And I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And you had to understand back then, we didn't have the same sound engines and same sound qualities as how some of these programs are right now. Even though everybody says all the DAWs sound the same, which I do not believe that. Do not believe it. Yes, when you're comparing it while everything's on the main timeline, you sliding over waves, yes, they do sound the same. But when you start adding in digital processing and stuff like that, things start changing because the zeros and ones are totally different. And when you start using these samplers in these various DAWs, that changes the sound as well. I'm telling you, changes the sound tremendously. But Reason was thin as I don't know what back then. Way thinner than what it is now. And he had to add all type of harmonics. He had to run my beats through the board. He had to run them through all type of equipment just to get my low end. He said he wasn't worried about the melodies and stuff. He was more worried about the drums. My drums were very thin compared to people that were using the MPC 2000 and using the keyboards and all that other type of stuff. So that prompted me to go ahead and get the MPC. Now, I had got an old beat up MPC. Don't know where it came from. It was dirt cheap. I got it. You know what I'm saying? And then later on down the line, I ended up getting a Triton. And when I got back home to Florida, I ended up getting a MPC 1000, the blue one. And I ended up getting a Roland Phantom S. And that was what I used for the longest. I actually got a picture that I showed on one of my lives when I was using it back in the day. Those were the days. I'll show that picture one day, man. I got it on one of my stories or whatever on YouTube. You can check it out. But at that time, I was actually using, Mr. Sharp, Nuendo. I was using Nuendo to track my stuff in. And I had a crazy setup where I had Nuendo controlling the MP and controlling everything in and all that stuff like that. It was good times. But when I got to that point, I learned what people were saying about that analog sound. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what you know about dirt cheap music, man? But Dawless victory, yes. And what it taught me was that people still loved sound. People still love sound, and people still love the art of sound today. Okay? And that's why I tell this story to a lot of people. And this is the same story I tell people even to this day, because it takes time, but you have to know my evolution to this point. Even though I was using Nuendo, which Nuendo was fantastic back then. Like, it had everything that Pro Tools has now, Nuendo had back then in 04. You know what I'm saying? It was really good. Okay, I don't know why they stopped Nuendo and just went full Cubase, but Nuendo was the shiznit back then. Okay, but the thing about it was Nuendo could handle things better. I had Pro Tools. You know, I brought Pro Tools in 2006. I had brought the whole bundle and everything, and I was writing my beats in that, but Nuendo just had everything. You can gain the stuff through the clips, and all. It was way better. I had to switch to Pro Tools because everybody else was using it. But, and I did have a crack version too. But I did have UAD stuff with it. I had a UAD PCI card. Great. Nuendo handled it great. I had a cheap PC computer back then. Everything worked great. But then at that time, I was still using Reason and stuff like that. And I was kind of going back and forth between Reason and my MPC. And it was night and day. It was night and day. And now, did Nuendo stop? Is there still new versions of Nuendo, or is it just Cubase? Y'all let me know real quick. Did Nuendo stop? Or is it still new versions of it? Of Cubase, because I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Y'all let me know. If it is, I might still get me a copy of that, because Nuendo was way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time. But going back to it, like I started hearing you're Illuminati like Cardi B. I guess so. But the more and more I started comparing my beats to Reason versus, and even some beats I would make on Nuendo too, and you know, versus my setup, it was like night and day. You know what I'm saying? That's why I figured it's just Cubase now. But it's night and day. Like, it's completely night and day, like how it was when I was making my beats. On, you know what I'm saying, the hardware versus the software. I had to do way more to get it kind of sounding right. Like, you had to add harmonics to certain things, distort certain things. And I just like right now, like, I got my beat machine. I just made a quick little beat. You know what I'm saying? I got my beat machine and I made a quick beat and it just sounds so good. You know what I'm saying? And I just added in this manly force where I got the beats. I got my beat machine running through that, and I take all my individual tracks. I run it through the manly before it hits my UAD. This thing sounds amazing. And even though I was pumping out beats faster, the sound of the beats were just hollow and thin, and it just didn't hold up. And then now that I'm back on doing my Dawless production, when I play my beats, people are like, yo, how does it sound so big? Like, what are you using? What DAW are you using? I'm like, I'm using my MP and my keyboards. And I think that, you know, that should be a thing to think about when it comes to this. Like, because I use FL, don't get me wrong, I got on FL in like 2008. I got on FL hard. You know what I'm saying? And I was on FL all the way to like 2011, 2012. And I love how FL sounded, especially when FL 11 came out. I loved how that stuff sounded. FL was great. Great. And then from FL, I started using Logic because the producer I was working with, he was on Logic very hard. And like very heavy, he was on Logic. And I started using Logic from like 2012 to about 2016. But them FL beats were just out of this world. But they still did not have that sound. And then even now, when I play my beats and stuff like that in different studios, and I bring out the MP, these guys are like, yo, this thing sounds so good, we can't pump it out. But a lot of these guys can get FL sounding really good. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys are on FL can really get it sound really good. Like I ain't gonna lie, when Sonny Digital first came out, when I first met Sonny before he got really big, he was making beats for this guy named Bama. This guy, Bama was hard. He was signing Jeezy at the time. He was my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? That was, you know, that's my guy. I'm not gonna say wasn't. That is my guy. You know what I'm saying? He has a thing called Corner Store on Wheels up here in Atlanta. He's doing his thing, has his own businesses, you know, still rapping and stuff like that, still doing his thing. But he was signed to Jeezy, and when Sonny Digital started playing them beats, I'm like, yo, what did you use? And he's like, FL. And I'm like, what the fuck? And his cousin, Marco B, was even better. I wouldn't say better. They had two different styles, but they just were crazy. Marco B should really be like one of the best producers out right now. I don't know what happened, but Marco was that man. Marco was that man. And Sonny was incredible. Like, he sent me like 100-pack one time of just beats, and I was trying to send them out, try to get them sold with everybody. But he had it sounding great. I heard 808 Mafia, they came by a studio that I was at the time. They came by and played beats in the A room. I was in the B room, they was in the A room. They pulled up and they played some beats. This is before they really got really, really big. This is like right when they was like working with Waka, and this before the album came out, and they were like banging out beats, you know what I'm saying? And man, they stuff sounded good too. But then I don't know how I got my hands on it, but I had got my hands on some beats from like some really big producers at that time that was still using like the MPC 2000, and they were using keyboards, using like, you know, like R&B guys. But man, the stuff was sounding so big on those beats. I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So I kept my MPC. I had ended up getting me an MPC 2500 in 2006. I was using that along with my Phantom S, and I had a Motif ES rack. And that was my whole thing. I had a Motif ES rack, Phantom S, and I had the MPC 2500 at my spot. And I used to make a lot of great stuff. And then, of course, I got back into it like 2016. I was doing, you know, the Logic stuff like that because we figured out ways to kind of get it sounding good, but I was still missing the mark on it. And then finally, thanks to Honorable C-No, he convinced me to go ahead and just get back on it fully, because I was using the MPC software in like 2016, but then I got the MPC X in January of 2018, and I didn't look back. He told me just to buy it. I bought it, and I haven't looked back because the sound The sound is crazy. And that's why, you know, with a lot of you guys, I try to tell you, like, should you switch up to a Dawless setup? And what I say to that is, with a Dawless setup, for people who are coming on here, for a Dawless setup, it's one of those things to where you got to understand that it's going to take you a little bit longer. But if you know how to use this stuff, if you know how to use like the keyboards and all that stuff, like the setup I got right over here, right? Let me see if I can get y'all to see this real quick. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it. Let me try to scroll over here real quick. Okay. So you see that, okay? That's my Dawless setup right there. So if I play it, so, you know, that's my Dawless setup. Okay. Right now, I got the Roland. I got the Roland Phantom 060 here with the MPC Special Edition up here. And that's pretty much it. And that's what's playing in the background right now. But it's one of those things where if you have the bread to do it, I would do it. Well, let me keep that stuck right there for a second. If you have the bread to do it, I'll do it. Now I see what is somebody said JFK Productions said Dawless is out of my tax bracket. I get you. I get it. But you know, you can still do it for fairly cheap. Like you can actually go to zounds.com and you can get the MPC one, which is, it has the same exact parameters of the first MPC-X. The same parameters as the first MPC-X that dropped. So the big MPC-X, if you get the new MPC-1, it has the same exact parameters. 16 gig, it's like 16 gigs of storage, 2 gigs of RAM in it, same exact everything. Okay? And you can get it for dirt cheap, like $600. And then you can go out and get you a Roland. Which Roland is that? It's a Roland that you can get at Zounds right now with no credit or background check. It's a Roland keyboard that you can get. You can use up the same. It's got pretty much the same sounds that they have inside of the Phantom and stuff like that. I keep forgetting which keyboard it is, but you can get that whole full keyboard, and the keyboard's like $7. Sometimes you get it for like $800. So you can get you a whole Dawless setup right now for less than what this whole board right here cost me. Okay, I keep forgetting what board it is. What board is that? I got to find out what board it is. But it's a board that you can get at Zounds, full keyboard, a full keyboard at Zounds. You know, for less than $800, less than $9. Yeah, the Juno. Thank you so much, y'all. It's the Juno. You can get that Juno, and it has some incredible sounds in it, and you're great. You're great. The FA06, I got that too. Love the FA06. Y'all guys know I got that limited edition all black one. I got that board a while back. Sounds really good. You know what I'm saying? Zounds got to cut the check at the rate he got advertisement. Zounds does. They do cut me a nice check. When y'all order stuff, they don't just cut me a check, but when y'all order stuff, I do get me a little check from that. It's not like, oh my God, it's just crazy, but you know, when y'all buy stuff using my link, it helps me out. Beats are good. Send me some equipment, and I won't snitch. Oh no, man. But but the thing is, I kind of recommend everybody to at least try a Dawless setup, even if you just get the MPC stuff and you just use the internal sounds and stuff with that. You will just hear immediately how your drums are supposed to sound. That's number one. You'll hear how certain keyboards and stuff sound as well. Like stuff just sounds different. I can't explain it. It just sounds different. It hits harder, and it just sounds really good. Now, the only thing that I will say about using hardware is that you got to hook it up and you got to learn it. But once you get one piece of gear and you kind of learn that, then you can kind of navigate through everything else. And then, you know, you got to route it through. You know what I'm saying? So the process is a little bit longer. Then you got to learn how to save it on here and, you know, all that stuff like that. But now with all of this stuff having a USB MIDI, it makes it way easier. You know what I'm saying? These are nothing but mini computers. You know what I'm saying? And they just sound really good. However, you know, you got to pay some money for it. But the good thing about it is, you know, you got to worry about no computers and nothing. The sounds are really quick in here. It's good. Now, it's pretty easy. They have some tutorials and stuff that show you how to hook this stuff up, but not a lot that shows you how to hook it up to the MPC. Like, a lot of people want me to do tutorials showing how to hook it up to, how to hook certain things up to MPC and get it started, which I might, because none of these places don't show you how to hook it up to MPC. You just got to kind of just know what you're doing. And like, especially using the ModX, any of the Modi X's, hooking that up to an MP. Oh my goodness, that would give you a headache. And I told people, everybody was like, "Yeah, what do you think about the Modi X? Should I get it?" I'm like, "Yeah, it sounds great, but man, just using it with the MP is kind of crazy." And one guy was like, "I'm still finna get it." And then I was like, "All right." And then he hit me back like 3 days later, like, "Yo, bro, you were not lying. That thing is crazy to work with, but I'm gonna stick to it." And then like 3 weeks later, he hit me up. He's like, "Yo, I got it now. I see what you were saying about using the multi-mode and stuff like that." He was like, "Yeah, but this is probably one of the hardest things to ever use with the MP." But you know, he got some more keyboards like the rolling stuff or whatever, and then he started seeing the value of how good this stuff could be. You know what I'm saying? And like I tell people all the time, like, I'm a rolling person. I love using rolling gear. Korg stuff is great, you know what I'm saying, along with the MP. But you would just hear the difference in your quality of beats. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't know how to play that well, yeah, you might want to make your beats, you know, maybe on what you make it on, then transfer it to the MP and add your drum stuff on that later on. But it's a learning curve for some of y'all, because, you know, some of y'all can, you know, learn how to actually play and stuff like that, because everything is basically all hands-on. And especially chopping samples is, you know, that classic MPC chop, man, it's nothing really else out there like that. The machine does a good job at it, but until they give us the proper machine update, I just don't know. Now, so far as like the sound, of course, the keyboards sound very good. I see somebody talking about Arteria. You know, I'm down with Arteria. I love everything Arteria does. They do a lot with me. I do a lot with them. Korg makes some really good sounds. They have some really good sounds on here, but they just don't have that grit and that bite like it has on here. Like, and people can tell immediately. Like, it's a production crew down there in Tampa called Fanatical Sounds, and pretty much all the producers in there, they all use MPC stuff now. And the reason why is because the artists are like, "Yo, what are y'all using? Why do y'all beats sound like this?" They're just different. They sound bigger. They sound better. And everything is being done on the MPC. And when you route it through, you just have more control and you can do less with it. Now, sound design and everything, of course, you can do that inside the laptop. And then now they have so many softwares. They have software now to where you can, you know, sound design on the computer and then make your own patches and put it back into the actual hardware. So that's crazy. So you can literally sound design on the computer and then bring that stuff back into the hardware. So that's cool. What you said, trying to make boom bap beats, can it be done on a DAW? Of course. Yes, it can be done on a DAW. Yes. Definitely can be. It's just that with this, you're just doing it more with your hands. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it you know, it is what it is. How do you feel about the Novation 37? I never really used it like that. You know what I'm saying? Never really used it like that. But, you know, if you are considering, you know, using or trying to get into the Dawless world, that's just some of the things you have to go through. And then plus, over time, you might want to get you some other equipment to accompany that. And I'm just all about just Dawless, period, because I love my plugins and everything. I love them. But nothing sounds like the real thing. And that extra little bit does make a difference. Now, the only problem with all this is if you go to the wrong mix engineer or the wrong mastering engineer, they can just totally mess up everything. But you can still hear that Dawless sound. You know what I'm saying? You can still hear that sound. And yes, Mr. Piano, thank you so much. If you guys are watching this, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that like button for me, please. Y'all have been watching me, y'all ain't been hitting that like. Hit that thumbs up button for me, please. Hit that thumbs up button so we can get some more people on here if you're watching this. You know what I'm saying? Hit that thumbs up button for me. And thanks to everybody who has been on here watching through the ads and everything. You have to throw in a little bit of ads. You know, we got to make some type of bread on these lives. You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked, so do you think I should upgrade from my 3rd generation Focusrite? You can get the 4th generation. Right now, a lot of these sound cards and everything sound very good. They sound very good. Very good. They just sound different. I like UAD stuff. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Real Dean. Thank you so much. But I like UAD stuff because I just know that sound. You know what I'm saying? I just know that sound. Like it's just sounds like, you know, it just sounds better to me. The 4th generation Scarlets and everything sound really good. But, you know, when you're dealing with certain outputs and certain things, you can kind of hear that extra 3 or 4%. You know what I'm saying? But the 3rd generation Focusrite does not sound bad at all. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, you don't have to do anything. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do anything. What you said, King Shrimp? I got an MPC Live 2. I hate using it with the computer, but I want the extra sounds. I have a Proteus and a MoFat and an Extreme. Ooh, Extreme 1 RAM. What do you think I should start using again? Yeah, you got everything, bro. That MoFat. Ooh, that MoFat was that deal back then, man. What? You got everything. Everything. Whatever you feel like using, man. Whatever you feel like using right now. Like, it's all dope. And then they have like the new, now they have the new USB like to MIDI stuff now where you can have a little MIDI box and it just goes directly into USB and then the MP can recognize whatever MIDI stuff it is. It's dope. Who do we got here? MPC 61 or the new MPC X? That's a hard one. I think it all depends on if you play like that, or if you just want more keyboards. Like if you have the MPC Key 61, you have all the sounds, and then you really won't need anything else from that point. You know what I'm saying? But the X it's just like, it feels like an MP. Like, I love the Key 61 because to me personally, it sounds better, and I think it's because of the power input, the power that's coming into it. But man, that's a toss-up. That's a toss-up. You know what I'm saying? That's a toss-up, like, for real. Yeah, I don't know. It's a toss-up right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a toss-up. But you know, so far as like sound-wise, they have some really great sounds. I'm going to tell you who makes some really good sounds, okay? Of course, you know, Arteria makes some really good sounds. They have some excellent sounds. I'm going to tell you who makes some really, really good sounds that I was actually kind of like, yo, I didn't know that they were that good. They were, which one was it? The BA1 by Baby Audio sounds very analogish, and UVI has some stuff that I couldn't believe sounded that good inside of a DAW. They got some stuff that sounds fantastic inside of a DAW. Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Piano. Thank you so much for that donation, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Please smash that like button. Thank you guys so much. Please smash that like button. If you're watching, please smash that like button. If you can. It only takes like a half a second. But the UVI stuff is, if I'm on the road and I'm making beats, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times I'm making beats in Studio One. I just like how Studio One sounds. Even when I route all my stuff in, I just like how Studio One sounds. I like how Logic sounds too. Because, you know, Logic, y'all know I love Logic, but Studio One right now has been like my thing. And if I'm making beats on Studio One, and I'm using a lot of the UVI sounds. They sound excelente. They sound great. You know what I'm saying? They sound really good. I was thinking of the RME to replace my Focusrite. RME sounds fantastic. They sound great. Everything they make over there just sounds good. And a lot of people are like, oh man, they still have USB, the data transfer. Man, listen, that USB 3 is like Thunderbolt is fast, but USB 3 is very fast too. Okay, like you don't have to have a Thunderbolt to run everything right now. You don't need a USB-C cable every time, but USB is very fast too. Okay, a lot of people think you need a Thunderbolt for everything. Like you don't. You know what I'm saying? For the data transfer, like USB is more than fast. Okay. Let me see how to get Studio One a new computer license driving me nuts, and Sweetwater driving them nuts. I bet they are. You know what I'm saying? Studio One, what I tell people a lot of time is just get the Studio One Plus. It's only like $14 a month. You'll spend more money eating this week or between today and tomorrow than you would on a subscription with Studio One. I feel that's one of the best things you can get subscription-wise is Studio One. Or just get FL. FL sounds great. FL sounds, you know what I'm saying? FL sounds great. I think FL sounds really good. You know what I'm saying? It sounds really good. You know what I'm saying? You're a BM guy, beatmaker guy. Yeah, I love beatmaker, but beatmaker sounds like how Reason used to sound back in the day. That's why I haven't used it. They need to upgrade a lot of stuff in Beatmaker 3, of course. They definitely need to do that. That's cheaper than Uber Eats. You know it. But yeah, for all the people that's coming in here late, you know, we're just having a full discussion. I will play this back. This will be a full video. I'm gonna keep this up on my page, so you know all my lives stay up on my page and stuff like that. How do you connect to interface as one? I'm not sure what that question is. I'm not sure what it is. FL is cool, but it's too slow. I feel you on that. But yeah, that's what I would say. Like for people who are trying to get into this whole Dawless world or whatever, just know what you're getting yourself into, and know that if you learn certain things, you know, learning how to use these keyboards, it is better. Do you still use Pro Tools? Yes, I still use Pro Tools. Yes, I do. Still use Pro Tools. Good thing about Dawless is, you know, you don't have to do a computer upgrade. You don't have to do certain things. With a lot of these keyboards right now, they're very much future-proof for a few years right now. So I've had this Phantom for about 2 years now, almost 2 years now, and I just upgraded some sounds. Like I can get all my Roland Jupiter sounds I can put on here. They have the expansions that for like $100 a piece, you can put your Roland Jupiter sounds on here, and you don't have to buy the whole Roland Jupiter, or the Jupiter X. Even though I do have the Jupiter X. Now, one thing I can say about the Jupiter X is the output on there. The sound on that thing is crazy. Crazy. Only thing is, but you can only use a total of 4 parts, and then you have a drum part. On the Phantom 06, you have up to 16 parts. So Like today was one of the first times in a long time I used like 5 parts on a beat, and then the rest of it was drums. I usually use no more than about 3 or 4 parts and then the drums. That's pretty much about it. Oh man, the Moog, woo, yeah. My guy Fat Boy got a Moog. The Fat Boy, the producer who produced for Gucci and all them, he has a Moog, and I can't wait to get on it. Cannot wait to get on it. I have a Launch Key 37, but the record, stop, and play buttons don't work, and the scripts don't seem to work in it. What you using it in? Love that new window. But yeah, that's one thing. You got to learn these boards. Like now, you know, a lot of people are kind of going away from the rolling boards because they have like, you know, they do a lot of stuff by scenes. But once I learned how to use them scenes and stuff on there, man, things were totally different. Totally different. Like using scenes on them rolling boards are totally different. And I'm glad because if I'm in a certain vibe, I can save that scene and I can have my sounds ready to go. And then the good thing about it is you could just scroll through the scenes on the board. Boom, you got your sounds. I got all my sounds set up and I'm ready to go. Or what I do a lot of times is I use the MSB and LSB stuff on the MP, and I can pick sounds through that. And in that way, when I turn off all my equipment and save everything, then turn off my equipment, as soon as I turn it back on, boom, the MSB and LSB sends the signal back to the board, lets you know what sound you were using, and you're done. You don't have to save any scenes, do anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the power of MIDI is crazy if you know how to use it the right way. You can turn up reverbs, you can turn down stuff, you can do a lot of stuff to it without even having to touch the board. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, you know, what I like about using hardware. It's just so fast you can move. The only problem about hardware is, you know, you got to import things in, you have to get things done a certain way. That's the only thing. That's the only thing, you know what I'm saying, when you're dealing with hardware like that. You just got to route stuff in. And then a lot of times what I do is I just make 8-bar loops. I'll route every sound in. It takes me, like if I'm doing like 10 sounds, it takes me no more than probably about less than 10 minutes to get everything routed. And then I can put it in sequence form, and then from there I can mix it or whatever I want to do. A lot of times I don't even mix it. However it sounds coming out, I just leave it like that, maybe turn it up, throw a little limit on it, and I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I don't have to do too much. Question. Why when the conversation switches to work in Dawless, why isn't signal chains ever brought up? Okay, that is actually a very, very, very good question. Because a lot of times people, like consumers, like people who are just on a, and I'm not going to say bottom level, but people that's on ground floor with the situation, they don't have a lot of signal processing. Like a lot of people don't have $3,000, $4,000 to get a Manley. A lot of people don't have an Apollo, even though it will, to me, it makes things sound better. But I've heard people route their stuff from an MPC directly into an inbox, and it sounded incredible. It still sounded better than beats making in the box. But to go on that point, Storehouse Holdings, to go on that point, signal processing is very, very vital, because if you've ever used a microphone, right, and you ran it through a compressor and ran it through some really good processing, and then you got that into Pro Tools, it makes things so much easier to mix, makes things sound so much better. And I believe it's the same way even with running stuff through a signal processing chain from my MP into, right now I got a Manley Force, the vacuum tube, the 4-channel, and then I got it going directly into my Apollo. And I'm telling you right now, like it just sounds 3D. Like it just opens things up. Like it just, I don't know what it does with the transits or whatever, but I see why these things cost so much. But it's worth it if you can spend the bread on it. You don't have to, because you're taking it out, a source, and you're running it through cables. Like I tell people all the time, something about those 1/4-inch cables that just makes sounds just sound really good. And I think that most people I think that most people, when they finally hear it going through a lot of stuff, and they're like, wow, so that's why stuff sounds the way it sounds. Why doesn't my stuff sound, you know what I'm saying? Why doesn't my stuff sound that good? Why does I hear a certain record and they just sound more polished or whatever like that? It's not nothing that you're not doing. It's just the stuff that you don't have it going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these really great recordings, you got to understand, like, these people who are still using these big studios, they're using really good stuff to get this stuff in the computer. And yes, people may mix in the box. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that do mix in the box and everything. However, a lot of times they're getting sources that are phenomenal. They're getting really good sources. The stuff that they're mixing has been ran through certain equipment, has been done. So a lot of this stuff, if you just play it dry, it sounds good. So that's why I try to tell people that if you can get you a good preamp or a decent preamp, it doesn't have to be the best preamp, a decent preamp, like I tell people all the time, you can go right now and go to Focusrite and get you a decent Focusrite preamp and run it into another Focusrite product, and you can still get a very good sound. You can still get a very good sound. Like right now, the mic I'm talking on, this is the new Shure SM7DB, okay? And I have it on the preamp mode, which, you know, these new mics have the preamp mode on here. And I actually got this mic running through my Avalon 737. And I got the 48 volts powering the preamp that's in this mic. These new 737 DB mics sound amazing. And you hear how it sounds in my voice right now. And I just got this running through the Avalon 737, and I got this going directly into the Apollo right now. And even with the YouTube compression, everything that's on here right now, like, it still sounds very good. And I just got a little bit of a roll-off going on, and this mic sounds very good. This mic sounds very good. And don't let me hook up my my U87. It sounds crazy. And it has a windscreen on it. It sounds good. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it just makes a difference. And the beat that's playing right now is going through the Manley, and I got it going directly in. So I have preamps with everything, and that's why the sound of it is sounding very good. And the beat's not even mixed. Like, let me let y'all hear the beat. The beat is not even mixed. Like, listen to it. Like, it's not even mixed, and it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's what the signal chain does for you. So now you don't have to do as much in post-processing. That's what a good signal chain would do for you. And if you have like a stereo chain, you can run your mics and you can run your beat machine through all of that stuff if you have a good stereo chain, because now you can run everything through just one particular chain. And I want to get more stuff now. Like, I actually want to get the whatever Manley got off. I want to try to get some Neve stuff and run that thing through it too. While I run it through the Manley, you know. Now I want to get like some limiter stuff, some output limiter stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's going through the Manley. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That goes through the Manley. That's going through the Manley right now. Yeah. And you can't get it on Zounds, but you can get it with this one's not one of the no credit, no background check. You gotta pay for that one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's going through that, and I don't even have it like, I got it going through, but they're not even hitting the pre's that hard. It's just running through it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you got that MBT? Ooh, I bet that thing sound good. Ooh, I know that thing sound good. Okay, Carbon Vibes. But I want to get that one, that new one that just came out, that Coke Capernaum had on his page. Ooh, I got to try that one out. With the limiter on there, the thing was like 5 times louder. You know what I'm saying? Perceived loudness, but it was actually a dB lower. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, that U87 and the Manly, I ran my U87 through this Manly, sounds great, but I still like the sound of the U87 going through the Avalon 737. My Avalon 737, that U87 is crazy. It's just that the compressor isn't that fast. Like this is really, the Avalon does have a compressor on here, but it's not like more traditional compressors. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like you really got to get if you really trying to level up your sound, get some pre's and stuff like that. Cause once you hook it up in the studio, you're going to hear differences, but because it's going to be in your studio. But when you take it to other places and play it amongst other stuff and you really get a decent mix and stuff on that stuff, it just sounds way bigger. Way bigger. And I tell people all the time, like, you know, like having a good, signal processing, because every piece of equipment has a sound to it, and it has their own thing to it, and it enhances it in its own way. And some people like this chain better than this one or that one, because, you know, once you go from one thing to another thing, now you're gaining certain things, you're adding certain processing to it, some certain type of distortion to it, certain type of harmonics to it, and then by the time it gets to that final point, it's like, oh man, this thing sounds good. You know what I'm saying? There is a difference when you buy more expensive stuff from companies that are known to do well. There's a lot of very expensive companies out here, they make some stuff that's really subpar. But if you stay with like Apollo, like with the UAD stuff, Neve stuff, Manly, Universal Audio, you know, all the Chandler, all these big name products that, you know, SSL, all these people who have known for years to make great products, you're good. Even Blackline Audio, their stuff sounds very good. Sounds very good. So, you know, it's a lot of stuff that you can get, but I would say stick to the name brands that have been out for years if you're going to do it. If you're going to do it, stick out to the brands. Stay with the brands that have been out for a long time and then have great feedback from some of the best. And that's what I would do. Warm Audio is cool. Yeah, Trident, API, all that stuff sounds good. Warm Audio is very good. You know, I had the Tone Beast for a while. It was good. It was just, it just didn't really sit there with me, but it's very good. So if you want to start with something that's cool, but this is what I tell people. And I want y'all to listen to me, okay? I want y'all to listen to me real good. Do not do what I have done my whole career. Do not go and buy you a whole bunch of cheap knockoff stuff and just getting it because it's cheap and thinking, yeah, it'll sound close, but I could just fix it in the mix and this, that, whatever. No. If you can buy something today for $500 and then turn around and buy something again 4 months later for $500, and then turn around and buy something else for $100, then next week you buy something for $50, then something else you buy for $200, and then do this and then do that. And then you can go buy you a bottle of alcohol. Then you buy you a little something to smoke on. Then go to the clubs. Then do this and buy rims for your car. But you say you want to do music. Right then and there, you don't spend like $5 or $6 grand on just a whole bunch of miscellaneous stuff, when you can just save that money and get the real thing. Just get the real thing. Because you're going to have something that's going to be future-proof. You know it's going to sound good. Just get the real thing. For real. Once I started getting the real things, my sound got better. And then once my sound got better, guess what happened? The people who I was buying the real stuff from, they started like, hey, Bolo, we want you to try this out. For real? Yeah. Me? I can keep that? Yeah. Oh, snap. Oh, yeah, take it, man. Hold it for about 6-7 months, man. See if you like it before you buy it. For real? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 2 Neve channel strips is pretty much about yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people all the time, just if you can, just get the real thing. And you will hear the difference once you compare it to other people's stuff. But I'm going to say this too. Cough, cough, Behringer, Clark Technique. Yeah. I bought one of them Clark Techniques, the compressors. I sent that thing back, sent it right back the same day. That thing wasn't it. I sent that thing right back the next day. I was like, what the hell was I thinking? I was actually going to do a review on that thing. I couldn't even do a review on it. Couldn't even do it. Was not going to do it. I wasn't. Was not going to do it. Yeah. But yeah, you know, hey, use some credit. Flubber Ghost has said, credit can help if you use it responsibly and you know the rules. You got to have self-control when using credit. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. Every piece of equipment right now, I can probably buy 20 times over. But I use a lot of stuff on credit, and because I like to build credit, and I like the way how credit works in a sense. Sometimes I got to pay a little fee, you know, the little, you know, credit fee or whatever you got to pay, you know, the interest rates or whatever like that. But it's cool because interest rates come off, you know, when it comes to, you know, certain products I buy, you know, the credit interest rates and stuff come off when I'm paying that. For my taxes, it helps me out my taxes and certain things. You got to learn how to use certain things, like use taxes and credit and stuff towards your advantage, in a sense. But a lot of stuff that I get, I may use a credit card on it and just pay it off over time like that. If you can get you a Sweetwater card, or if you can get you some credit through Zounds, of course, or just get you a Capital One card or whatever and buy some stuff with it and pay it off over time, be responsible. You're not only paying that off, but a lot of times these cards would give you 2-3% cash back, and then you can get your credit better. You can start getting your credit right. But you got to use the right way, because a lot of people get a credit card, they think it's free money. It's not like that. It's definitely not like that. You got to take care of certain things the right way, and you got to be responsible with it. You know what I'm saying? But don't just buy stuff that you think you need. Buy stuff that you know you need. Like me, right now, I think the last piece of my puzzle were 2 things. I got the Manly here. Sounds great. I might want to get me maybe a compressor to go through it. And I mean, not even that much compression. Just really kind of run it through. And then I want to get that new, I think it's the Neve one that just came out. I can't remember which one it was. It was on Cope Capper, whatever his name. It was on that. It was that channel strip. Whew. Which one was it? Hold on real quick. I gotta let y'all guys know. I gotta go into his page. Let me see here. Hold on. It was which one was it? One on the page. He just had it on here. He makes some really good content too, man. Really good content. It is the Rupert Neve Designs, the MBT. Woo. Yes, the Master Bus Transformer. I got to get that. I got to get my hands on that. I got to get my hands on that ASAP. I got to. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get my hands on it. And that's going to be probably the final piece of the puzzle, because what I want to do is I want to route my stuff in to the computer, and then what I want to do is I want to route, when I get done mixing it in, I want to take that, run it through that, and then print that back into the computer. Whew. It's crazy. Now, I did have an Allen and Heath mixer over here as well. I didn't like it. I didn't even do a review on it. I was going to do an Allen and Heath. It's just, the thing about it is with me, if I look at stuff from the consumer point, if it takes too long for me to learn how to use something, it's probably going to take you longer. And it was too much updating and all this stuff. It was a little digital mixer thing, the QT18. It was cool, but I couldn't even do nothing. It just took too long. You know what I'm saying? It just took too long, and I was trying to go through stuff. Like, I'm one of the people, I do not want to have to sit here and go through the manual for every single thing. At some point, you should be able just to get to it. But The digital mixer, nah, but the regular Allen Heath mixer, yes. Okay. That's why a lot of people use these Tascam mixers, because they're just so easy to use and they sound really good too. And it just works with the MP stuff. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm just running it. I'm not even running it through the Tascam no more. I'm just running it through the Manley. Tascam is gone. Even though it's great, the Tascam is great. But it's Manley, running through that, whew. Yeah, I heard the solid state fusion is good too. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like with a Dawless setup, running that stuff through that, and then, you know, making beats on that Dawless setup, and then putting it inside the computer, and then, you know, using all of that stuff to put it back in. That's where you're getting that solid sound. You know what I'm saying? What kind of soundboard is best to start with? What do you mean by soundboard? Let me know. Let me know what type of soundboard you're talking about. Bolo, why don't you try the SSL Big 6? I do need to try it. I've been running from that. The Portico, I've heard good things about the Portico too. You know what I'm saying? Or I got Dangerous Music over here. I got a Monitor ST system that I spent a grip on. I could use the box for the Dangerous Music as well. I've heard that's really good. You know what I'm saying? The summing mixer. I heard that's really good. Makes things sound way louder at lower dBs. It's crazy. And it just has that punch and that quality in it. But that Neve, that MBT, that thing look good. Sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Sounds really good. Yeah, Dangerous has some good stuff. I'm thinking about that too, but I'm going to try, you know, rather me doing something, you know, to where I'm taking all the tracks and I'm summing everything. I would rather just sum everything through, you know, through the actual mixers and stuff like that on the DAW, and then run that through like the Neve or something like that, and then bring that back over. You know what I'm saying? The one with EQ, compression, other effects. Oh, all that stuff. Nah, I don't use any soundboard, nothing like that. None of that stuff. What's the best way for a newbie to put music out or make beats, like FL or something else? Yeah, a newbie, I just say go with FL. FL, Logic, Studio One, all of them. You gotta learn how to use all of them. You know what I'm saying? But I tell everybody, try to go Dawless first, because if you can do beats on Dawless, you can do beats on everything. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's cool. Now, what I am waiting on, I'm trying to see what they're going to do. I'm trying to see what they're going to do with the new machine. Native Instruments ain't going to tell me. They ain't going to tell me about the new machine. They ain't going to tell me yet, because I might slip up and say something. You know, they ain't going to tell me nothing about the new machine yet. But I've been, y'all know I've been on it. And I'm about to make another video on it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no reason why. And I love my people at Native Instruments. I love y'all. But there's no reason why that new keyboard should not be working with the software or the actual standalone unit. That's weird to me. It's not out yet. They still have some updates, but that was kind of weird when they sent the board over, and I'm like, dang, this thing don't even work. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here. Chase Taylor, got the MPCX. How do you feel about the plugins for mixing and mastering? I don't like them. I don't like them, especially in the MP. I think they could be a lot better. One thing I kept telling was, even on the mastering plugin, they need to have metering, so you'll know like RMS or LUFS and stuff like that. They need better metering on there. You know what I'm saying? They need better metering. When the MPC 3.0 coming? I have no clue. No clue yet. I can't wait till it comes out, because they have some stuff in to come out. I ain't gonna lie to you though. They got some very interesting coming out, but y'all ain't heard that from me. The The new MK4, I hope. We're going to see what Native Instruments is talking about, too. They make enough sounds. You would think that they would, like, come on, with all these sounds and stuff being made and all the innovations that you would think, like, they would have had all this stuff worked out. I think that, I'm just being honest, I love the board. The board is great. Love the new board that came out with Native Instruments. I just, there was that release date where we showed everybody kind of like how the board is being used and, building up hype for it. I think that might have came a little too early, but I wasn't upset. You know what I'm saying? But, I think that they have a little ways to go with that. Kent Logan, what's the best expansion pack for 808s? Get my drum kits. Do you not hear these basses in here? This is my X Factor kit right here. Listen to this. Come on, man. That's my 808 right there. Come on, man. That's my X Factor kit. $9. Y'all know that X Factor kit is crazy. If y'all ain't got my drum kits, y'all are tripping. If you ain't got my X Factor kit, y'all tripping. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. But we're gonna get to that later. We're gonna have another conversation about that. I'm gonna be on live a little bit more this week. But I'm gonna be on live today. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be on live this week. But for everybody who came on here, link is in the description. If you guys need to get anything, link is in the description under the affiliate links right there. Just go ahead, get my drum kits, get all my kits. They all sound good and they're all cheap. Make sure you guys go ahead, check out Zounds once this is over with. Just click on my link, go to Zounds. If you see something you like, that link will help me out. So if you click on that link, you can go on there. I don't care if it's a MIDI controller, a microphone, whatever. That link helps me out. You know what I'm saying? Helps me out, helps the channel out, helps the congregation out. Okay? So check that out. Make sure you guys check out the analog cases link as well. You know what I'm saying? So do this. As soon as the thing goes off, go hit that Zounds.com link. Hit that Zounds.com link. Go hit that analog cases link. Hit that analog cases link. And then make sure you guys go ahead, check out my drum kits as well. You know what I'm saying? They sound great. My last kit comes with an MPC expansion. That's why it's a little bit more. But they sound really good, and it will help you out, okay? So we're going to be on here a lot more. I like doing these lives. I like connecting with you guys a little bit more. Y'all make sure y'all share these lives with your people so people will know. Make sure you guys click on the thumbs up on this live. Please do that. And please comment, even when the live is over with. And I'm going to start doing more lives more frequently, okay? Because I like this better because when you have to do the whole setting up and everything, I'm still going to do long form content, but, doing that, sometimes it just takes forever, man. And I'd rather just have the conversation with you guys rather than just like, y'all have seen so many videos on the same thing. Sometimes it's all about just having a good conversation. But I'm going to be back on here again tomorrow night, live beat review. I hope to see you guys on here tomorrow night for live beat review. It's going to be really dope. There's some new producers on here. I haven't heard none of the beats, but I want you guys to come on here 9:30 tomorrow night so you guys can give your feedback. And we're going to have a good time. It's usually around about an hour. That's the time, the Bolo congregation is together. We like to have a good time. We like to throw a little money in the collection plate, and we like to, do our thing. So I will see you guys again tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. for the live beat review. Hope to see you guys on here. Hope you guys enjoyed this live. Make sure you guys, if you came in late, make sure you rewind this and watch it again because I will have it posted. It's going to stay on YouTube forever. So make sure you guys watch it from the beginning. Share this live, share this content, like this content. Of course, hit that thumbs up or that thumbs down. And I will see you guys again very soon. And like I always say, peace out.